Welcome to the vote booth. Press any key to continue. Which is our sentence here. Now, I think it's pretty straightforward why that did that, but 30, age is 30, and 30 is obviously greater than 18. So, if this becomes true, this question right here, or having the program ask itself a question, and if the question is something that's true, then you can run whatever is assigned to this question. And now, I hope everyone understands that. Now I'm going to show you the else. So we can say if this is equal to this, and then we can say else, which is the Java equivalent of otherwise, pretty much. It's kind of like a fallback. You don't need it, but for some things, you might. But overall, you don't need an else with an if. You could just have an if you wanted. But if you wanted a fallback, like if this isn't true, and you want to do something specific if it's not, you can put an else, which is the equivalent of otherwise. And then otherwise is the same format as the if. System.out.print. And then a sentence will say, go away, minor. And then semicolon. Okay. Now, again, if we run this, it's not going to change because age is still greater than 30. But, say we change the age to 10. Now remember, last time we did this, nothing happened. Now it says, go away, minor. And that's because if we were to read this like English, this would say, if your age is at least 18, then welcome to the vote booth. Otherwise, so it's pretty much saying, if you're not at least 18, then it will tell you to go away. You are a minor. You can't vote. Go cry. Something to that effect. So it's pretty easy to read as English for the most part. And another thing you could do. So there's else and then there's if, and they're usually used in conjunction. But there's one more. It's called an else if. Kind of confusing, it may sound, but you could say it's kind of like the else, except it's another condition. Like if this is wrong, it'll say, okay, that's not right, what do I do? Okay, I'll check and see if this is right. So we could say if age is less than 10, then we could change this to say you are way too young to vote. And to top it off, we could add an else. And we could say if the age is neither 18 or older or less than 10, if it's neither of those two, then we could say system.out.print. And we could say, wait a few more years first. And then our semicolon. So let's see what happens when we run that. We have our age set to 10. Now it says wait a few more years first. And that's because it'll first go through this. It'll check this one first. If age is at least 18, then do this. If this were to be true, then all the rest of this would be skipped. It found what it wants, it knows what to do, then it'll leave this whole if-else conundrum thing. It'll leave it. Once it finds something that is true, it'll do that and will ignore any else's that it comes across. So, 10 is obviously not at least 18, so this doesn't count. It'll turn up false because 10 is not at least 18. So now it'll check else if. Is the age less than 10? Well, no, the age is 10. And as close as it is, unfortunately, 10 is not less than 10. That's where the equals thing can throw you off. 10 is not less than 10. It may be less than or equal to, but it is certainly not less than. So this gets skipped. This is not true. Which means the else. And the else is no matter what. If none of these come up true, then just go ahead and do this. Wait a few more years first. And that's what it did. Because age did not meet these two requirements. So it fell back to the else. Now, I'll show you one last example before I end this tutorial. Change it to 3. And then run it. You are way too young to vote. And again, that's because age is 3. Is 3. Remember, it replaces the variable name with whatever you told it is equal to. So if 3 is at least 18, which it isn't, so it doesn't even matter. It won't even look at this if this comes up false. It's like, okay, well, I don't even need to bother with this because this isn't true. So it'll ignore that, come down to here. Is 3 less than 10? Yes, in fact it is. So, what do I have to do now? It'll look in here, and apparently the programmer wanted us to print you are way too young to vote. Okay, I've done my job. I don't need to look at any more else ifs. Like I said, once it finds what it wants, it'll end this whole, because these all go together. This if, else if, and else. They're all kind of the same, in the same kind of block. Well, I hope that helped. I don't know if that was too confusing or not. Please comment, give me constructive criticism. I'd prefer not to get any "you sucks" or anything like that. But I'm gonna go and make some more tutorials. I will have some up soon. Thank you.